Hey guys, today I want to talk about expat non-planners and know-it-alls will get spanked in the Philippines. You know, the Philippines has a great way of spanking people that don't plan. We hear about them all the time. The people that come over here. We had that guy down south of here. I guess he come over here with $30,000. He thought it was going to last him 4 years, and then he goes out and loans it to people, thinking he's going to start businesses. Finds himself broke. He has a child, and he's got a girlfriend, and it's a mess. It's a mess. You know, his life is a mess after that. And he's not the only one that has come over here. There's been many people that have come over here and had disasters. I actually have a couple people that have been here before, had disasters happen, went back, regrouped, or they're trying to regroup, but I see them, they're ready to repeat their old mistakes. I asked these people, I says, okay, do you have, if you're going to come back here again, because they're asking me for help, like what would you do? I says, well, do you have some emergency money? Do you have enough income? Do you have enough in a pension? And a lot of these guys are telling me, no, I've got $10,000 and I want to come over there and I'm going to try to start a business again. It's like they never learned. They never learned what to do. You know, like they think that they can come over here. That's the worst thing to do, is to come over here like that. The other thing is, a lot of these guys, they have these little tiny pensions or whatever from Social Security or whatever, and they want to come over here. And I tell them, I says, okay, did you price out the cost of your insurance? Well, I'm healthy, Steve. You know, I don't think I'll ever need insurance. I don't think that that's a need for me. I don't think that that's something that I'll ever need. I have that a little bit of emergency money, but I don't have a lot. I says, well, do you have your startup money to pay for your rents for a while, to fix up your place, to buy a sofa, to buy a refrigerator? And they'll say, well, I'll pay for that later. Well, how are you going to pay for that with hardly any money? You know, like the people don't think sometimes when they come over here. Actually, a lot of people don't think when they come over here. And the Philippines will give you a great big spanking, and you know, and it's a well-deserved spanking for not planning. You know, all you have to do is not plan and think you're a know-it-all when you come to the Philippines. And let me tell you something, you'll get a good spanking. I mean, everybody over here that is an expat has been spanked a few times over here by the Philippines. It's just the way it works here. You know, it's not like the U.S. where people try to, you know, help you through things and stuff like that, and try to guide you through, where you have, if you need help like with welfare or something like that, or you need food stamps or something like that. It don't happen over here, you know. Over in the United States, you got all that to fall back on. Although the United States is falling apart in a lot of ways, you know, you still have those things to fall back on. You can always bounce back. In some ways, some places you can't. There's some people that fall through the cracks in the United States, and they get no care at all. They're homeless and they're on the streets. And some people I've heard some of the comments on there, and some of the comments are saying, hey, Steve, you know, some people are better off in the Philippines rather than being homeless in the States, because a guy that's making $500 in the States is homeless and he's on the streets. But a guy in the Philippines can rent a home for $60 or $40. And then, yes, there are $40 homes over here, but they're not the best. $60 will get you a halfway decent home. You might have to paint it and stuff like that, but they could come over here and they could live with no insurance, probably, depending on their age. But for $500, you're not going to get much insurance. But you can. There are insurances over here where you can get at least $10,000 worth of coverage. Okay, and that was the plan that I showed before. I did a video on that a few weeks back. You can get the ward, which is the cheapest, and still get $10,000 worth of coverage, which is a $500,000 pesos. Then you can get the semi-private. You know, so there's ways of. The semi-private goes up in price, and then you got the private, which, you know, the semi-private gives you $1 million. Then you go to $1.5 million pesos, which is like about, I believe it's like about almost 30,000, somewhere around there. It's pretty close. You know, so there are ways of twisting things to make things work for you. So, and I know some guys are going to come over here and they're going to say, I'm going to make it no matter what. Now, if you come over here with the attitude that you're going to make it no matter what, you better have your budget in place. You have to have your budget in place. If you have your budget in place and you have it figured out, and anybody that wants prices of things can always contact me, and I'll talk to them. You know, if you email me at steven5975@yahoo.com and you say, hey Steve, I just want to find out the price of this here. But most of the time you can Google what's the price of milk in the Philippines per se, or something like that, or cereal or something like that. I'll tell you, what's the cost of electricity if you don't have AC? You know, what's the cost of water without, you know, if you're not taking, if you're not using a lot of water, you know, things like that. That's what you have to have fitted in your budget. What's the cost of Bureau of Immigration? You know, what's it going to cost for that every month if I'm doing the 36-month thing? How much should I save for a ticket, a round trip ticket to Singapore when I have to do my visa run? These are things you have to put in your budget. You have to have those in your budget. It's like mandatory to have that, because if you don't, when the time comes, you're not going to have the money to go do this stuff. You know, I just want everybody to be safe here. You have to be safe when you come over here. And for these guys that are know-it-alls coming over here, the Philippines usually gives them a really good kick in the ass, because they come over here and they are under this impression that they can come over here and just, they think that they're smarter than the Filipino people, and the Filipino people know how to do it. They know how to make things work sometimes. To you, it might not seem like it's working, but in reality, it's working. So you need to be really, really careful, you know, when you're thinking about this stuff, because if you do things a certain way over here, you can make things work. You can make, like, for instance, and I'm not trying to toot my horn or anything like that, but over here, if I wanted to start a business over here, a transportation business or something like that, I could. But we let Pax start that up. Pax wanted to make some money and stuff, so he started the transportation business within our group. I mean, that's a great way to start a business over here, is start a expat group. You know, because you could, if you wanted to, you could hire yourself out as a driver, or start a business and have a Filipino do the driving. Now, Pax makes all the money off of our group. It's all him and his brother-in-law. You know, they make the money. They don't make a killing off of that, because I see the way that they live. They live a normal Filipino life. They're not living extravagant, but they live decent, because they have car costs, car repairs, gas. Everything's expensive. And a lot of expats think that they know it all. They know everything. But they don't do a business plan. Okay? And a business plan is key to starting a business. I took up business law one time. And I took up corporate law and some other things. I took up partnerships. And this is before I took on, so I started some businesses on my own. I took these. I was thinking about becoming a paralegal, and I took enough courses. I was like one course shy of becoming a paralegal, but I didn't want to become a paralegal. I took those courses because I wanted to learn about businesses. I also took up accounting and a few other things. But when I took those courses, I learned a lot. You have to have a business plan. If you have no business plan, you're not going to make it. That's a key to failure. Let's put it that way. You'll fail for sure if you have no business plan. Very few people succeed without a business plan. You know, you write down stuff. I mean, I have my board in the background here, the whiteboard. I write stuff on there. I write my plans. I write who to contact. I write my budget up there. And I also have other papers around here. I do all my stuff on there, because if you do not write down everything that you're planning on doing, it will not come to fruition. Okay? But lack of planning is the biggest thing, and that's why I tell people, you know, the Philippines has a good way. It has a plan for you. It wants to kick you in the ass if you don't plan, and it will. You know, and for non-planners, people that come over here, they don't have enough money, things like that, the Philippines is going to give you a good swift kick in the pants, and you'll end up heading back home. If you come over here and you're not mentally healthy, okay, the Philippines can kick you in the pants again, because you'll get frustrated over here more than you will back in the U.S. You think you're getting frustrated back in the U.S.? Philippines can be more frustrating in some ways with out of stock or people giving you the wrong order or things like that. That happens here. But you know something? Overall, the Philippines is one of the greatest places you could ever go. I love it here, and I recommend other people come here. But there are some hardships that you will endure over here, and when you mess up over here, you know, like I said, the Philippines is going to give you a good swift kick in the butt, and it's going to wake you up, and you're going to be like, wow, I learned a good lesson. And if you learn from that lesson, you will succeed. as long as you learn your lessons over here. Okay? And I've learned many lessons over here. Even though I've read up on things before, a lot of times I get a good swift kick in the pants too. And I try to teach you guys from what I've learned. And I hope you guys don't come over here and get a lot of kicks in the pants too, because if you follow what I tell you, I think for the most part you'll be okay. You'll be good. If you follow our budgets, you follow coming over here with your startups and things like that, and you listen to the other things I talk about living here, the culture and things like that, I think you'll do well. Anyway, guys, I want to talk about that a little bit today, and also do your own research. Without your own research, I spent 4 years researching the Philippines. I wrote down notes. I wrote down things that I thought were really important that I could go back to and I could read just before I left, and I still have those notes when I came here. And I wrote all that stuff down. And also, guys, I'm gonna do a checklist. I talked with Justin, my buddy, and Justin's gonna help me, and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna do a checklist. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get it done. I can't promise when I'm gonna get it done because we have a lot of things going on this week and in the coming weeks. But we're gonna try to get it out within a month or two. We'll have that checklist of what you need and what you need to do to come to the Philippines, and I'll give you my best checklist. And you could tweak that a little bit if you want, because some guys, they have other plans or other ideas or something. That's okay to have other ideas, as long as you research those ideas and you know that they can work for you. Then you'll be all set. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I know a lot of people, I'm preaching to the choir today, because a lot of you guys have watched a lot of my stuff in the past. But I just want to tell people out there that think that they kind of know it all sometimes. Sometimes you don't. And when you come to the Philippines, it has a way of teaching you. And that's where you'll get spanked. You'll get spanked really good over here by the Philippines. So don't think you know it all about the Philippines, because you probably don't. We have a lot of guys in the Philippines that are here now and been here for 10 years, and they think that they're know-it-alls, and they get spanked often too, because they don't do the research. They live in a house, they sit there, watch TV, and they're armchair know-it-alls, armchair lawyers, armchair accountants, and stuff like that. This channel, we put in a lot of research, and we try to help everybody out there. In fact, we have the lawyers and the accountants and everything set up. If anybody needs that, we help with that, and that's why we formed this channel, because I've seen too many expats failing. But God bless, guys. Take care.